Welcome back to the Namra podcast with myself, Taylor, Russ, and Sahil joining us today. Let's get right into it. Boys, how's everything going?
Great. How you been? Have a good week?
Yeah, it's good. We haven't done one of these, just the three of us, in a while, so this is nice.
Yeah.
Sahil, I know you've been buried in ads lately, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be probably the major topic of today's episode is the landscape of the paid ad structure and like where everything's going and what you're seeing out there, I think, for the most part. But yeah, anything else going on with you guys lately that you want to kind of go over today?
Honestly, that's been the story. Aside from just telling people to get ready for 2023 by starting to plan now, the biggest narrative for everybody I've been working with is just what's going on with my Google, what's up with Facebook, how do I run ads now? It's just chaos. So I think Sahil, let's just get right into that.
Yeah, well, maybe one thing we can touch on a little bit more is like, because not everyone saw that video you put out, which was great, talking about why if you want to have a great social media marketing strategy and campaign for this upcoming year, it has to start now. It's like anything, you know, you're not going to be in shape if you like for 2023 if you don't start working out now. And that's the biggest thing I think people miss, especially with the holidays coming. How many times have you heard like, I'll get to it after the holidays? It's like, get started right now so that you actually have something up and running for the new year.
Yeah. The biggest thing is like, you just don't want to be in the position where that was what I said in the video is like, your competitor could have a well-oiled campaign that drops and is perfectly executed January 1st. Those videos were recorded in October. The ad strategy, the narrative, who they're targeting, that stuff was planned out for a couple months before January 1st to allow for that launch to happen. So you can't be calling your video team for the first time in January thinking you're going to start off strong. And
yeah, or even holiday campaigns. Like how many times do we hear people saying like, I want to run a lot of paid ads around the holidays for like Black Friday or Christmas? It's like, it's too late. It's too late, you know? And I think that's a really good point. It's like start now because you don't want another 6 months to go by. And actually, that might be a good segue. Sahil, can you talk to a little bit about the seasonality and the cyclical nature of like ad spends, especially during the holiday season? I don't think people realize at one point a few years ago, Facebook was like maxed out on paid ads. You couldn't run ads because they were all bought up, right? So there is a finite amount of these things, and it does impact how much you have to spend, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, going back to the point that you guys just mentioned, that's more so, this year it's been more important than ever to get those ads in on time. That's always been the case for past years, but this year especially, just because there's so many changes going on, that it has pushed approval times on certain types of campaigns back. Ads that were normally getting approved in maybe one business day. Now sometimes they get just stuck in that process for 4 or 5 days. Yeah. Right. So if you have that pattern of always giving us, ads content, like, late. If you have a Black Friday sale coming and you literally give it to us on the night of Thanksgiving, maybe in the past, maybe you got lucky, it still got approved on time, but it's, that's, with these changes, it's definitely expect longer approval time. So that's more important than ever to make sure you are planning like right now, getting that content ready and getting it, ready well ahead of time. Yeah. But yeah, how bid caps usually change depending on seasonality. Like, during the holidays, they're always more expensive traditionally, more so for the retail side that we've seen, just because there's lots of e-com, just the nature of retail. There's a lot going on during those months, especially in the U.S. So, based on the cycles every year, normally October, November, December, you do see a little bit inflated ad spend. Even those will be higher than you've seen in past years, just due to the nature of some of these changes going on. A lot of you might have already noticed, like if you try to go into Ads Manager and run campaigns of your own, like even Meta has released announcements that they have very clearly said, hey, don't expect the same results because we're just in the midst of changing a whole bunch of things right now. So you're going to see higher ad spend just because They're targeting metrics, they're targeting functionalities, how you create certain demographics to target. All of those are being changed, so the audience size you may have had in the past is no longer the same, or the interests that you were able to input into your ad. Maybe you were able to add in 50, 60 before, maybe that's gone down to 30. So all of these things impact the ad spend. So that's why they say, hey, expect higher ad spend, but at the same time also expect lesser results because their data points are just less. Are those going to be back? Absolutely. Like we've already started, seeing them remove certain interest groups, just revamp them a little bit and add them back in. So they will definitely inevitably be back at some point. It's just right now with all the changes going on, you should, definitely get content in well ahead of time if you are thinking about holiday campaigns, but two, have, just monitor your expectations, this year going into next while they release these changes, because the current ads manager on Facebook and on Google actually are both in betas.
Yeah. And that's, I think there's a lot of people who love to say like, okay, now Facebook ads don't work. Facebook ads are too expensive. It's not, it's a temporary thing. They're like any other business. It sounds like they're going through changes, right? This is a temporary thing that you just have to kind of get through, understand it, and have reasonable expectations, like you said.
Yeah, I think the reason why this update cycle was so heavy and it saw these many changes is this time they aren't necessarily just focused on usability and utility. They're also focused themselves as companies lining up for the future.
What is the end game here?
Of ads.
Yeah.
Whether, Meta might be changing things up, like are they thinking about incorporating some type of Horizon Worlds in the future or the metaverse or, different types of realities, whether that's virtual or augmented? Are they thinking about incorporating voice more so? Like they're lining up for you, as the business, how they're going to release more tools so you continue to run ads on their platforms, but also for themselves to remain a competitive ad space as these newer technologies come for the future. So that's why this specific update cycle, it's definitely been nothing like we've seen. There's been lots of changes, and I think it's also being mixed in with changes that were happening from the past as well, with the whole iOS 14, privacy, tracking, asking apps not to track, no tracking of offline activity,
a lot of these things that were kind of overdue for big overhauls.
Yeah, so it's all just getting combined now. So it's just like a mess.
Yeah.
Right? So there was already a bunch of these changes happening, like when those previous changes happened. But now they're still working on those while also trying to prep for the future.
Yeah.
So right now it's a very complicated ad space. Like that's the best we can say. It's a very complicated ad space. The companies themselves are working on changes and trying to do that as fast as possible. But you can expect these betas to kind of be around for a while they work out the bugs. Not to mention, once they release something, there's going to be thousands of bugs that they'll have to fix.
One of the beautiful things that we always say is we're not beholden to any one platform. We like Facebook or Instagram because it works now. And if overnight Facebook disappears or no longer works as well as something else, we make that pivot, because at the core of what we do, we're a marketing company, right? We want to do what's best for our clients. So with that being said, for you, who doesn't really have a dog in the fight, if Facebook sucks tomorrow, we'll find something else that works better. Are you optimistic, pessimistic about the future? I can't imagine they're making these changes to make the platform less effective for business owners, right?
Yeah, I'm very optimistic. If I had to make a prediction, I think they're lining up a way to potentially incorporate their future ad space with the Quest Pro.
Yeah,
that's what I think they're trying to merge.
Yeah,
that way it will enable, because if you think about previous Facebook technologies like Oculus and all of those, like they were mainly just to experience different realities.
Yep.
There wasn't much more. But now in these recent, last year and a half, especially with just the uptrend of like metaverse and being able to do things in like a new horizon, a new world.
Yeah.
Like it's all going to be like, how do you enter that? Well, through the Quest Pro.
Yep. Which is the headset, right?
Exactly. So now if a lot of functionality is going to be added on the Quest Pro, then how do you merge the future of ads with that new technology? So I think some of that is also going on. I think I saw a trailer of the Quest Pro, or I think it's a Quest Pro 2, if I'm not mistaken, but like the newest Quest Pro, whichever it is. I saw a trailer where like you can actually wear it and you no longer even need monitors anymore.
No shit.
You'll only just need one screen, and you can have as many monitors as you want, and it looks so like realistic. Like one of them can be a whiteboard, one of them can be an extension of your computer.
Yeah.
So like boom, like
no
monitors are not going to be purchased anymore.
Yeah, because you don't need them.
Because you need one.
You need
That's
one,
a $300 device to add as many as you need, and you can have that anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need to factor in space, or
you can lay on your couch totally reclined with your head looking up.
And you could probably just like make this one bigger.
Yep.
Like.
Exactly with the
controllers.
With the controllers. So
we were doing it in here the other day. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like it is so immersive. Like you don't realize
when you're in there. And
it feels
what does
real.
it is your hands.
Like
I remember the first time I did VR, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. Like, you know, you're looking around, and then my friend handed me the controller for the first time. And when your hands become your hands in there, it changes the whole game. You're like, now you start to realize that's how you interact with the world. That's how you know where you're at, is like your relationship with your hands.
You see
and then your perspective changes. You're like, whoa, like I'm in this world now. This is crazy.
I think it's like, there's like the perspective on all of these new technologies, like, well, nothing's going to be real life. Like, you know, like it's still all just virtual. Like it's not real life. But the other day, actually, my dad wore one of these headsets for the first time.
No way.
And we got him to play a game. I forget the exact name, but it was like one of Meta's. It was the.
Was it Beat Saber?
It was the old Quest, I think. Okay. It was the old Quest, but he wore this, and I forget the game's name, but the whole purpose of the game was to like, it was like a balancing game where like you're in a city, and like there's just like this log that's like from one building to another, and you're trying to like walk through it and not fall. He was actually like shivering playing the game because it was so real for him, right? And he would refuse to take a step in real life because he actually thought like he was there.
He was there, yeah.
Yeah. So and my dad is like, skeptic of these things, right? Like, of course, like, you know, he's gonna be like, oh, well, it's not gonna be real. You know, I'm gonna know I'm playing a game. But the moment he wore it, it's like, you know, he was like.
But these people are going through such big jumps of technology. Yeah. It's like he just figured out how to work a smartphone, and now he's in VR.
There's two types of people. There's the older people who go into VR and don't move a muscle because they're afraid that like they're gonna fall off the cliff, and then there's the millennials or like the young, like the Gen Z kids who are jumping off of cliffs in VR because they're like, I can't get hurt. They jump into the wall or like off the cliff.
That's funny.
No, so
I remember
it is very real.
Things changing quick. I remember when I was like this was probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was playing Madden on my TV, and my grandmother came in, and she's like, the Patriots are playing today? And she was sitting there for 5 minutes, and she thought it was like the Patriots were playing. And I was like, what the hell? You know, but they don't. Technology changes quick.
You're still playing like 10 hours later. She's like, I've never seen a game last this long.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly.
You know, rules must have changed, you know?
And I think how much graphics have improved even since then. You know, so that's the thing that's crazy, is the exponential just betterment of graphics over time. Is they say eventually it's going to get to the point where your eyes can't distinguish if you're in VR or real life, because the graphics will be that good. I mean, that's the pinnacle. Maybe we're 50, 100 years away from that, but
that's where
I've seen that a lot in like the remastered games. Like from the past, like if you compare the original graphics to like today, it's like,
or even just VHS tapes. So as far as practicality goes, the small business owner who's listening to all this is probably like, okay, that's fine, but can I still run like an ad on Facebook and get it to people? You know, like how are these VR ads going to affect small local businesses? Will it affect it at all? Because there's not that many people who are spending a ton of time in these VR headsets just yet. It's a good amount, but it's not critical mass by any means.
I'd say that's
and that was more so like a prediction that I think, like, there's no ads in like you know, headsets right now. That's just what I think, like they're planning for the future, because they've been promoting that pretty heavily.
Big investment.
There's a bunch of changes that are happening in terms of functionality of how particular ads work, where it makes you think like, why was this added? Yep. Like if you're running this ad from just a computer, like why was this function even added? Mm-hmm. And it makes you think, oh, okay, like
this is what
it's probably going to tie out, like tie to something or another device in the future. But in terms of practicality, what I would recommend is you have to be very specific with your objective right now, whether that's AdWords or you're running meta campaigns. Be very specific with your objective. Like in the past, you used to be, sometimes you can get away with choosing the wrong objective. Mm-hmm. So, and what I mean by that is like, if you think you're about to run a brand awareness campaign, like make sure you set up a brand awareness campaign. Don't do like a traffic-based campaign that in the past you thought, oh, well, I'm still getting awareness, but I'm also going to get clicks. I'm going to do this. Like, no, there's no more stacking going on. Yeah. Like, so be very specific because it'll help you at least control some of that ad spend. If you do want more clicks to your website, then do a traffic ad. Don't try to do an engagement-based post that you just have the hyperlink to your website.
And hope that people go.
And hope that, oh, you know what, this way I'm going to get more clicks and more comments. Like, no. Like, you're just going to lose ad spend.
It sounds like there needs to be more of a focus and emphasis on the marketing side of things, which is good. Because I think a lot of people are just like, I'm going to run a Facebook ad and get more business. Blanket statement. Full stop.
Which 5 years ago was an accurate statement, or 10 years ago maybe. Like simple boost, a business owner could do it themselves if they had a spare $100.
Now you need a strategic plan going into every one of these, and you have to know how to execute, or you're going to waste money.
Well, consulting is paramount right now. In the past, and I believe I referred to this in a previous episode, where in the past were the YouTube days of, hey, let me just watch, 3 or 4 videos on how to set this up real quick, and let me just, and sometimes you got away with that, but these days it's so advanced, so specific. If you guys even open up the newer AdWords, you'll see exactly what I mean. I was on a Zoom call with Russ the other day. We did a screen share on the new AdWords platform. Like, how many functionalities did you see just to set up a quick campaign?
Yeah, it's
like we pressed brand awareness, and there were like 60 different functions.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. It's so much different than a freaking
with functionalities of their own. Yeah. So that's how advanced they're getting. And if you are serious about reaching that exact person, then you're gonna want to be like hyper specific and know what it is that you're doing when implementing these ads.
Yeah, you got to know what things like counteract each other too. Like, we were on a client's ad account last week, and their old ad person had ran ads that basically had conflicting information within the same ad. Like, the example was basically like, you told the ad, do run in Massachusetts and also don't run in Massachusetts in the same ad. And like, whether that's like an amateur setting it up, or like maybe an update happened and some sort of glitch occurred that didn't get caught. But money. Either way, it's like the ad was run for basically the last 2 years on like repeat for this client. We look back and it's like, literally it was giving Google conflicting information. So how do you think the performance of the ad went for the last 2 years? Not well.
And it inevitably got marked as ineligible.
Yep.
Right.
Because the machine learning just went like, what the hell are you talking about?
And the ad account itself, the client's ad account is screwed.
After they spent a bunch of money and wasted it.
Yeah.
Right.
So any key suggestions moving forward for someone who's looking to run those pay-per-click ads? We talked about before, no more smart campaigns, so you can't really DIY. So what are kind of your thoughts moving forward for people?
Definitely. So in regards to the smart campaigns, they did bring back a function that's similar to smart campaigns for just your day-to-day user that might not know like the advanced tools. The only thing, unfortunately, with that newer tool is it is still an advanced version, so it nowhere near is as easy as the original smart. So for the person that doesn't do this every day, it's definitely still going to look like, oh my God, this looks like a new language. Yeah. But they did bring that tool back in there for those folks that have always been running smart campaigns, if you want to take a look. But in terms of just best approaches and practicalities, it's like, again, I already mentioned, definitely be specific with what you're trying to run. but also while monitoring your expectations, at least just try out some of these functions that you didn't in the past, just to see if it makes a difference with your current ads. Because the way it's been moved out, if you were always just sticking, like, for example, to brand awareness, traffic, or engagement-based ads, like those were running best for your business, the new version of traffic-based ads might be the best bang for your buck, but so maybe don't split into 3, maybe like try that one.
Yeah.
And spend all your ad spend there. Because again, ad spend is going to be very limited right now.
Yep.
You know, like the cents per click that you saw might be $1, $2, depending on your interest groups. So if you are going to really understand which ad is going to be best,
you got to test,
you know, for your business, this is the only way you can do like a quick benchmark for yourself. Like if you just have the same amount of spend per month, just, pull it all into one of those, see how it does. Then pull it all into another, and then the third one, just see if it is replicating the effects of the past campaigns for you, because that one is probably the newer version of your past campaigns, just the way they move the functionality. So that might be one way to remain practical and while still continuing to run some ads. And
hopefully you can cut out the ones that don't work, you know, and then you're optimized a little bit better.
Exactly. Another thing I would recommend is grassroots brand awareness isn't going to go anywhere. Those functionalities are for the most part going to remain the same. Like awareness is awareness. Yep. So if you are trying to ride this wave out of updates and bug fixes and you aren't sure what your strategy is going to be for like the new year coming in, if you just want to remain top of mind, sticking to brand awareness just now might help instead of doing no ads at all. Like don't do that.
Yep.
Sticking to brand awareness and just solidifying your like your organic content side to pool together with that is a very good and practical approach. And lastly, I would recommend if you're just trying to save on the ad spend because you've seen very inflated ad spends for like the type of ads that your industry runs, then the practical approach would be to invest all of that on the organic side, because even a major part of these ads changes we've seen, they're all going back to the organic pushes. Yeah. They're all building back from the organic. So if you've seen inflated costs, like pool it all into organic, shoot better content.
It's a release more. It really is a testament for organic content. That's what we've always said. You can't put all of your eggs in one basket. These things have to complement each other for a time like this, where now if you have no organic content, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to see a real dip.
Mm-hmm. And the businesses that are in the best position are the ones that don't need to advertise, because all their customers are already looking at what they're offering in the holidays. And if you're just posting out your flyers organically and you already have a loyal customer base, you're not going to be spending that much on ads anyway, because you already built that foundational organic audience. So
if you go back a few years, even 5 years, there was a plethora of spam pages that were successful, built strictly from ads, like 100%. Like just build the page and pour thousands of dollars into ad spends, spam people, and it was working. Yep. What has happened since then?
Cut those.
Those have been blocked and deleted by the platform itself. What has happened even after those actions? Instagram, now you can choose who you see first. Yep. People that you care about, organic.
Different types of feeds.
Right. Even like a recent Google update, My Ad Center, that's going to allow people to select which type of ads they want to see. Yep. Meaning they're going to obviously choose people that, okay, they like based on their organic following. I don't mind seeing ads from this person. Right. Yeah. Again, organic. What ranks best in terms of content in general? Ads content, not necessarily, because you have to sponsor that content. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, ad spend would be very, very low. Yeah. Right? So again, organic. So it's like everything is organic. And the
foundation of having good organic content is providing real value to the right people. Don't just sell, push something onto people. If you provide value, if you make it something they're actually interested in or care about or value, that's it. You'll do well, And I know Facebook has those different feeds where you can strategically just say like, this is the type of people that I want to see their posts. Instagram came out with that same thing. Now you're saying Google has this option where you can say, I want to see less ads like that, you know, or like this.
Whatever. Yeah. Bring up any social media topic from the last 3 years, and I'll tell you the answer is organic. Like, bring up any topic. Oh, why is my content not ranking so high? Well, because, like, is your content being watched? Mm-hmm. Why would your content be watched? Well, are you're providing something of value, or the person actually cares about what you have to say, and it's not a spammy ad? Cool. Like, no wonder you're getting more views. No wonder. So again, organic, right? How come I'm pouring thousands of dollars into my ads, but I'm not getting any type of, you know, residual value or return from my customer? Mm-hmm. Well, are you releasing good organic content to keep them entertained and keep them, or are you just relying on ads only? Mm-hmm. Again, organic, right? So like, name any pain point. The solution has usually been authenticity and organic content.
Yeah. And anything else on that? Because I think there's one good tip or trick to, like, if you are now focusing more on organic content, you know, one good tip for that on LinkedIn that people don't realize I wanted to talk about today was the fact that you can invite people to like your business page on LinkedIn. That's a business page on LinkedIn has always been pretty difficult to grow over the past few years. If you're an individual person, you get pretty good reach, pretty good engagement, but business pages, it seems like, have a really hard time growing there. Now there's a feature, and it's been out for a while. Every single person connected with an association, business, whatever it is, can invite their friends to like that page. We did it the other day. So take the time and strategically go through your list and invite 250 people. The next thing you can do is, if you have 10 employees, make sure that they put on LinkedIn that they work here, or that they are an employee of your company page, and then they can do the same thing. They can invite people. And then the last thing that you can actually do on LinkedIn as well is, if someone shares a post from that business page, you can highlight it. It's not necessarily resharing, but you can send out a notification saying, hey, this post just got shared. So those are some organic tools that you can do right now on LinkedIn to help your engagement, to help your reach. And same thing on Facebook. You can actually invite people to like your business page. So if you want to grow your organic following, if you don't want to be too heavily reliant on those paid ads, that's one thing that you can do. And that's what we do for our clients.
Yeah. It's actually very cool that you mentioned that, because building off of that, now you might have not known this, you can invite people that have engaged with your ad through your business page to like your page. So, you know, if you are trying to pivot to more of an organic strategy or incorporate more of the organic efforts, even from your past ads, you might be able to go into that graphic that you ran, or the video, see the engagement, and if there's like 100 people that like that ad or the graphic, you can now go through from your business page and actually invite them to like your business page. And that's how you build that organic following.
Yeah, and it says Namra invited you to like this page, not Taylor invited you to like this page, you know? So that's a really cool feature.
Yeah, it'll say your business. So you know, that person's not going to think like, hey, who's this random person adding me or something. Like, they will know, like, okay, it's an invite from the business.
And the really awesome part about that, and I'm glad you brought that up, that's the value of, like, okay, I've heard this before. Like, okay, I got 100 people who liked my post. Who gives a shit? That's it right there. You can actually invite those people who liked your post, basically retargeting them with an invite and a call to action to like the page. And now they've just signed up for all of your future organic content. And that goes right back to keep doing organic content well, and you'll have success.
Yeah. Like, a quick example of that is recently we had a client, we made a brand new page. We ran a ad campaign that was traffic based. Yeah. That campaign, it was a graphic based campaign. And yeah, it got a bunch of link clicks, but we noticed that there was lots of interest in the post itself. There was over like 450, I think it was close to 500 likes for like within like a month. We went back, invited all 500 of those people, and now that new page that started with 0 now has like 250, 260, That's awesome. You know, people that are following it, and now they have an organic avenue to keep those people repeat customers as long as they provide value.
Yeah, exactly. And the first couple hundred, the first 1,000 are always the hardest, you know? So that's a great way that these social media platforms are showing They want you to succeed. They don't want to stifle all organic engagement. They want you to do that.
I think that's a common misconception is like, oh man, Facebook's so complicated now. LinkedIn's so complicated now because there's all these new buttons and pages and things that you can do.
All the bells and whistles.
But you got to realize like they're all tools. These are all things that you can do to hustle a little more so you don't have to rely
it's
so
all icing
on
the cake, you know?
Right.
It's still simple. You can still just post, set it, and forget it.
Yeah, but
now you should look at it as
exactly.
Yeah. It's an extra thing that you can do to improve your social media advertising. And you shouldn't look at it as a bad thing.
It's like, yeah, you might spend more time on LinkedIn per post now than you did a few years ago, but it's because it's helping you reach a better, more qualified audience. You can hustle a little bit and actually bring that audience in as followers. And, you know, especially as the ads get more complicated, having those extra tools that you can hustle on organically are huge to just be aware of, practice on your own, just be a practitioner of these platforms.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
Well, I think the last thing I would add to that is that also gave a great example of how benchmarking with ads works. That last example that I just said, however much ad spend you put into that ad, if your benchmark was to track organic growth, okay, well now you know X amount of dollars yielded around X amount of likes to your page. So now you can scale up or down from there.
Yeah.
And that's just one campaign.
Yeah.
So when we say benchmarking, we're doing, you know, lots of these to figure out different metrics, different call to actions. What's going to be like our goal, if you stay consistent with ads, if you have a long-term strategy, a long-term benchmarking strategy, our goal is one, to help you what your acquisition cost is, to help you discover that, and also to help you devise strategies where the lifetime value of that customer is going to exceed that acquisition cost.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes a successful campaign. And that's what will obviously keep you in business, like long term.
Yep. And then you can work on tinkering it and lowering the cost of acquisition and things like that. That's a great way. I think that's a great way to put a bow on it right there. That is a beautiful kind of way to show that's how these are supposed to work. You know, it's not just let's just run a Facebook campaign. This is supposed to be part of your business marketing strategy, your plan, and how to reach your goals long term. So
it is a utility.
Exactly.
Like it's not just something that's optional. It's a utility, and if you use it wisely, you're able to grow your business. It is a tool to grow and sustain your business.
Perfect. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you next time.